As we embark on our final days of high school with drastic changes soon to come, we appear to be emotionally prepared and academically driven students, ready to take on the challenges lying ahead. Now, I wanted to reflect upon my experiences when growing up and share a couple of lessons that I have learned and will take with me for the future. After living in the predominantly urban area around Boston, Massachusetts, growing up in San Ramon for the majority of my childhood placed me in an extremely sheltered environment, where my ability to recognize and comprehend simple ideas that would help make life run smoother was largely hindered. This prompted me to discover many aspects of life in an unconventional way, learning these lessons as a result of my own actions. One consequence that came as a result of this lifestyle was the difficulty in accepting criticism. Living in such an academically rigorous area, the main criticism students faced was the bashing from their parents, telling them that they aren't worthy because they don't study enough or didn't try hard enough. Failing to live up to these expectations became a huge presence in many students' lives, who felt that their parents were too hard on them and critiqued them too much for trivial things. I know that many others, like me, felt this way too. However, as the constant criticism persisted, I began noticing that it always came after my parents feeling disappointed that I wasn't using my time in the most effective way. They simply wanted me to reach my full potential. This led me to recognize the first lesson. While it may be annoying or make you feel discouraged, criticism is actually the best thing that can happen to you. If you're not being criticized, that often means that people have given up on you. My parents simply persisted because they felt that it was the best way to help. Being able to appreciate this criticism is something worth learning and is something that I believe is crucial to have for future success. Another negative impact that came from living in this bubble was the way that I dealt with problems. I remember the many times I would come home stressed out, frustrated that my teachers all decided to assign homework and tests on the same day. Each time this happened, I would spend a great majority of my time complaining to my parents and others about how stressed I was due to my academic responsibilities, rather than using the time to complete the tasks that lied ahead of me. This was honestly a big factor that contributed towards my struggles during those years. After facing this setback, I realized that it's pointless to spend our time complaining about our problems. After all, we cannot change the problems that arise inevitably, but we can control the way that we deal with them. Unpleasant events can and will happen in life, and we have the power to change how these events play out by changing how we respond to them. If we simply spent even just 10% of the time used for complaining towards actually trying to solve these problems, we can accomplish a lot. Yet, despite all of this, not every problem needs to be fixed. They can simply be a statement of who you are. We have to recognize which parts of life hold more value over others. So, instead of obsessing over the little problems, take a look at the bigger picture and then determine if it's worth your time to get upset over. If we learn to appreciate everything that is thrown at us throughout our lives, we can make great positive impacts on our society now and in the future.